The jobs of the future won't be the ones lost in the pandemic.
I think the reality of 2025 is you need to be learning and working at the same time. It's not either or, it's both.
Thousands of Australians are struggling to adapt to life right now, let alone to the Australia of 2025 and life after Corona.
The future of work doesn't look very exciting at all. It's not shiny, it's not driven by technology. It's driven by a fight for survival.
My name's Adrian McBean, I'm 52 years old and I used to be a sales and marketing manager in the printing industry. To lose my job overnight has been really difficult. I certainly don't feel ready to retire, that's for sure.
Changing careers within 15 years of retirement is not a move Adrian from Victoria's Mornington Peninsula ever thought he'd make, until COVID made it for him.
I start to, second think, how long am I going to be in this space for? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? What does 12 months look like if I'm still in the same space and I've still got to pay a mortgage? What will happen?
Adrian is deciding whether he goes back to his carpentry skills or forward to a career in allied health. TAFEs around the country told 7:30 they've seen a surge in inquiries for health administration.
I am 52 years of age, and so I've never really faced it before about applying for jobs and someone thinking, he's 52, is he a little bit too old? Because I'm thinking my next job, I want to be my last job.
Dom Price is a work futurist with Atlassian.
I think the old way of thinking was you do education until you're 20, 21, and then you're in the workforce for 40 years. And I think that construct isn't true anymore. And it's not, that means you need to go and do an MBA, which is the way we've tried to deal with it in the past. It's saying, what are the skills that you can acquire that might not be certificates or formal education, but you can acquire those skills, practice them, deploy them, and then relearn new skills.
According to advisory firm Alpha Beta, the average Australian worker will likely change jobs 2.4 times over the next 2 decades. By 2040, 9 out of 10 Australians between 21 and 65 years of age are expected to have changed occupations at least once.
Hi, my name's Rowan Denny. I'm 30, and by the year 2025, I hope to have a degree in engineering.
Hi, my name's Jess Frost. I'm 35, and by the year 2025, I hope to have a job.
The tectonic upheaval witnessed by the arts industry has flung thousands of workers like Rowan and Jess into the job market or seeking upskilling.
Currently, we're sort of in a bit of no man's land.
I've been working as a stage manager for over 15 years now. So you would be on one show 1 minute and then another show the next.
Both of us working on the same production, essentially both losing a job at the same time, whereas I guess if one of us were a teacher or one of us was an engineer, we might still be working or at least having some income.
The pair have both ended up on the unskilled labour market with temping jobs.
Would spend time just perusing on, looking on the internet for different short courses and things like that to try and upskill cheaply and quickly.
Economist Dr. Jim Stanford heads the Centre for Future Work.
The future of work in 2025 will be probably a bit grittier, a bit more competitive, in a way a bit more troublesome than the future of work is today. And that's not just because of the pandemic and the resulting recession. Even before COVID came to Australia, we saw a gradual deterioration in the quality of work, the quality of jobs, and that means that their jobs are, in a way, more menial, less high-tech, and unfortunately, more poorly paid.
His new research challenges the view that technology, like robotics and automation, are taking workers' jobs.
We live in a society and in a labor market that's very insecure, very competitive, a kind of a dog-eat-dog world out there. So I don't blame people for worrying that their job might disappear and they could be replaced by a robot. The reality is, though, economically speaking, the advent of new technology in Australia is going surprisingly slowly. Now, that doesn't mean that people's jobs are safe. They're still very insecure and they'll still be replaced. They just won't be replaced by a robot. They're more likely to be replaced by another desperate human being who's willing to do the job for a little bit cheaper.
Research compiled exclusively for 730 by the Centre for Future Work shows that business capital investment in machinery and equipment, the most tangible manifestation of new technology, has plunged dramatically, with painful consequences for Australian economic growth, productivity and innovation.
I think what COVID has done is pour accelerant on this. I think the investment in automation, robotics, machine learning will increase because it's, in some regards, is seen as less risky than humans. Bizarrely, I think software often gets less bugs than now humans can get, right? Software can work 24/7. It doesn't need an enterprise bargaining agreement, doesn't take holidays, right? Doesn't have sick leave. And so I think there is a view in some parts of society and some parts of the economy that technology is great. What I think we need to be prepared for is that impacts everyone along the spectrum.
In Sydney, an unassuming building houses Woolies X, the digital nerve centre of Australia's biggest retailer, Woolworths.
The economy, as we know, is moving more to digitisation. I think COVID especially has accelerated that.
Here, 3 young university students are beginning careers, which, by 2025, may not even exist.
Gosh, okay, so in Australia in 2025.
In 2025, I will hopefully be in some sort of permanent work. I don't necessarily know what it will look like.
In 2025, I become a web developer. There will be a very automated world.
And we obviously want to bring in as many of those great employees as we can.
They've been selected for these paid job placements via an artificial intelligence-driven platform.
What we believe is that the thing that makes you a good fit for work is not your educational or social background, it's what makes you you, your strengths, your behavioural styles, your motivators, your value sets, your interests. And so our matching science looks at those traits of a human, of a young person, and matches them to work that would be a great fit for them.
It's an example of technology assisting careers, not taking them away, and an example of the pace of change faced by today's new job seekers in uncertain times.
Yeah, very uncertain and not very comforting entering the market at a time like this.
Jo Masters is Chief Economist at consulting firm EY.
Economic research shows that it impacts your income for 10 years, just if you're unlucky enough to start in a recession. And some recent modelling we did showed that in the Australian context, the average Australian starting their career in a recession has a $32,000 hit to their income over that 10-year period.
I think there's a superpower that a generation coming through the workforce now will have, which is unlearning. So some of the playfulness of that younger generation, I think, needs to come through to the older generation, and we need to get more comfortable being imperfect. Because I think that the perfection will kill innovation, it will kill reskilling, and it will kill our ability to evolve.
3 types of workers making choices about tomorrow and shaping the Australia of 2025.
Now, not everyone can pivot, but I think whether we're in COVID times or hopefully back in a time of thriving post-COVID, our ownership as leaders or members of society is to say, what can I do? Right? What can I do to evolve my skills? What can I learn? What can I apply? What can I try?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.